Okay, picture this. It's the 1920s, decades before the modern manifestation movement, way before modern neuroscience even existed. A woman named Florence Scovel Shinn actually figured out the literal mechanics of reality. She quietly influenced millions by teaching that consciousness operates on a very specific set of laws. So, if you've been wanting to totally rewire your mind and actually change your reality, you are exactly in the right place. Today, we're breaking down her 5 absolute most powerful rules to help you unlock that next level of your life.
But right off the bat, I've got to ask you something, and I really want you to be honest with yourself here. How do you view your own life right now? Like, is it this constant uphill battle where you're fighting tooth and nail for every single inch? Or is it a game? Most of us are just hardwired to see the human experience as this massive struggle. But changing this one single perception, that's your very first step to taking your power back.
To get us there, we're going to quickly walk through 5 mind-bending concepts today. The game of life, your word is your wand, the power of non-resistance, imagination precedes manifestation, and finally, digging ditches of faith. Master these 5, and I promise you, you'll master your consciousness.
All right, let's jump straight into rule number 1, the game of life. Honestly, this completely shatters today's whole hustle and grind culture, where society constantly tells you that if you're not succeeding, well, you just need to wake up earlier or work a lot harder. Look at it this way. If you treat life as a battle, then yeah, brute strength is going to win, and that is absolutely exhausting. But if life is a game, well then just understanding the rules is how you win. People suffer every single day, and it's not because the universe is somehow holding out on them. It's because they're unknowingly breaking spiritual laws. So instead of sitting around asking, why is this happening to me? A much more empowering question is, wait, what law am I failing to understand right now?
And the rules of this game are pretty fascinating because they show us that the internal always creates the external, never, ever the reverse. Shinn taught that an internal shift simply has to happen first. For example, releasing deep-seated resentment and fear, that's what actually cures financial struggle. It sounds crazy, right? But letting go of fighting your circumstances is literally what allows divine order to step in. The obstacles you're facing right now, they aren't impossibilities. A block is just a misunderstanding of the law. Once you understand the law, boom, you remove the block.
Okay, moving right along to rule number 2. Your word is your wand. This is all about the totally unseen power of your speech.
Shinn has this incredible quote, "Your words are never neutral." And guys, this is a massive paradigm shift. Think about it. Your speech isn't just this passive thing you use to describe your day to your friends. It's an active, creative force. It is literally participating in building your physical reality. Your words reinforce themselves into existence. They act as either a completely creative force or a highly destructive one. I want to give you a little challenge. Over the next 24 hours, just notice how often you say things like, I just don't have enough time, or I'm so tired, or nothing ever works out for me. We do this all the time. We continuously speak against ourselves without even realizing it. And when you do that, you are effectively choking off the sunlight to your own mind. You attract exactly what you speak about, and then, ironically, act totally surprised when life just hands you those exact negative assumptions right back.
So the big takeaway here is that your words are literally the amplified frequency of your thoughts. They're the very first physical representation of your inner world. If you can just stop speaking negative thoughts out loud, those negative beliefs will actually start to dry up and wither away. Your speech is the doorway between the visible and invisible worlds. It's the ultimate gatekeeper deciding what you actually allow into your reality. That brings us to rule number 3, the power of non-resistance. And I'll be honest, this might just be the most counterintuitive, yet totally liberating rule of the entire game.
To wrap our heads around this, let's look at what's called the golden equation. It perfectly distills all these spiritual laws and personal growth ideas into one simple mathematical formula. Desire plus non-resistance equals your desired result. It's really that simple. Whatever you want will materialize, as long as you remain completely non-resistant to the desire itself.
See, here's the trap. Emotional resistance actually glues your consciousness to the exact conditions you're trying to escape. The energy you spent fighting a problem, yeah, that's often the exact energy keeping it alive. So letting go doesn't mean giving up, not at all. It's more like an internal surrender that opens up space for real solutions to naturally emerge. By maintaining a non-resistant state, you essentially withdraw your creative energy from the stuff you don't want, you ignore the current reality, and you hold steady to your ultimate vision. And that perfectly sets up rule number 4. Imagination precedes manifestation. This one finally answers the ultimate chicken and egg question of how reality works.
Shin used to tell these amazing stories about people practicing what she called living in anticipation. Like a woman setting the dinner table every single night for an estranged husband, who eventually did return. Or someone ordering custom furniture before they even found their dream house. Now that sounds wild, right? But fascinatingly, modern neuroscience completely backs this up. We now know for a fact that athletes who just imagine playing their sport actually trigger their physical muscle fibers. Pianists who just picture themselves playing activate their brains exactly as if their fingers were physically hitting the keys.
So what does this tell us? It proves that 100% of the time, the unseen vision absolutely has to be held first. You literally have to mentally occupy the fulfilled state way before any physical evidence shows up. Imagination comes first, always. The physical crystallization into reality, that just follows suit.
Finally, we arrive at rule number 5, digging ditches of faith. And guys, this is where the rubber really meets the road. First off, we kind of need to redefine faith here. We aren't talking about religious doctrine. We're talking about unconditional acceptance. Faith is simply whatever you accept as truth. If you deeply believe in scarcity, well, your faith is placed in scarcity. If you believe in abundance, your faith is in abundance. True faith is just a full-stop, no questions asked acceptance of the reality you're currently calling in.
To illustrate this, Shin loved to tell this wild ancient story. So picture the scene. These huge armies are stranded out in a scorching desert, and they are literally dying of thirst. They ask for guidance, and the prophet Elisha gives them this incredibly bizarre instruction. He tells them to go dig ditches in the bone-dry valley. Now, there is absolutely no sign of wind or rain anywhere, but the exhausted soldiers dig these deep trenches in the dust anyway. And guess what? The very next morning, a massive supernatural flash flood rushes in. It completely fills every single ditch with water, and it saves all their lives. The law is dig your ditches first and then expect the water. You see, the average person waits around for physical proof. They wait for the economy to get better, or for the timing to feel just right before they make a move. But true faith demands that you physically prepare for the result before you can actually see it. You can't just sit around wishing for something. You have to give the water a place to go.
So how does this actually apply to us today? Well, digging ditches looks like buying a sleek new work bag and planning out your commute for a job you don't even have yet. It's applying for a passport, even if your bank account currently says $0. It's going out and buying a keychain for a dream house you haven't even found. I know, it sounds a little crazy, but taking these actual physical actions trains your mind to stop fixating on your current lack. It forces your brain to focus entirely on expected abundance. And eventually, the external world just has to catch up with that firm internal decision.
So, I want to leave you with this really powerful challenge. What ditches are you going to dig today? How are you going to show the universe that you are ready and totally expecting the water? If you found some value in these insights today, please don't play this game alone. Hit that subscribe button, share this video with someone who really needs to hear it, and join our community so we can all master the game of life together.